Greetings, family, and welcome to another episode of Cultivate Life. I'm very excited today because I have my brother Mikey here, and we are going to show you guys how to sprout from home. So we have some different, was it beans?
Yes, different beans. You can also call them seeds because that's where everything flourishes from.
Awesome. So we have some seeds, beans, and we are going to show you guys how to get sprouting. So sit back, relax, make sure you share that link with your family and friends, and we'll be right back right after this. Okay, we are back, family, and I'm here with Brother Mikey, or Michael, or the community knows you as.
It's a Ghanaian. My Ghanaian name is just Kwaku.
Kwaku. Yeah. What does that mean?
It's kind of like your day when you were born,
okay.
Which is Wednesday in the middle of the strength. So.
Nice, yeah. Nice. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I know you as Brother Mikey, yes. But you guys can call me Michael. So, like I mentioned, we're going to get sprouting today. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you interested and sort of like, should I call you an expert in sprouting?
I wouldn't probably use the word expert, but I had a lot of experience. Okay. A lot of experience in doing it, for consumption.
Right.
The journey is like about maybe 25 years ago or so, decided to move in the direction of a vegan, or, like in Jamaica they'll say ITAL.
Right.
But ITAL and vegan is a little different because ITAL is more, you're not really using any salt.
Right. More of the earth.
Yes.
Not like, the vegan chicken when you're picking up that.
But ITAL really eliminates salt from the diet, but or the liver. I try to call it now because
the livet. Yes, I like that.
Yes,
because diet.
Yes, because the word diet has die in it, rather than live. Because this is living food that we're going to demonstrate today.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So 25 years ago, just making that transition because my father had some illnesses, and he transitioned in the mid 90s. And then I found out that his father, had the same kind of, things going on with him. So I said, you know what? It's time to make a change.
Right, yes. Right. And so many people, I feel like, they say, okay, well, my parents had this and I had this, so it's like hereditary. Like, I know, like, my father, I try to tell him, hey, you can eat better, he's diabetic. He's just like, oh, my mom had it.
Gotcha.
The end. I'm like, no, that's not the end.
Yeah. Because there has to be, to me, there has to be a break in the chain.
Right.
That's holding these things together. So the only way to do it is actually make that change, mentally and physically and spiritually all together. Because that was the only way that I could see that I could make that difference. And so through a lot of people in this South Florida community, because it wasn't just me, it's a lot of influence because there's a lot of people who I've met here who were living those lives, so they were able to help us along the way, in making these transitions. So definitely big ups to all of the ones. Names are so numerous I can't
too numerous
to mention because there's a lot of good brothers and sisters that are here that give us a lot of encouragement to do these kind of things, and I'm grateful.
Of course,
yes, for sure.
So I'm definitely grateful to have you on the show because, like you said, down here in South Florida, we do have a really great community, and that was one of the reasons why I moved to South Florida because of the community. I think I was doing the community yoga on the beach, and you were one of the teachers. And I was just like really inspired, and then going to the farmers market and seeing so many of our people and just the abundance of produce.
Absolutely.
There was just so many things going on in the community at that time when I moved, and still now. So you know, it's just I feel like you're one of the staples in the community as well.
Well,
bringing them knowledge.
Well, again, I feel that to whom a lot is given, a lot is required from it. So for me, holding this and keeping it for myself, they didn't do that for me. They gave it to me. So why should I sit and keep it to myself? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
So that's why it's good to sit and reason. And now we have technology that it can be given to not just ones who are here, but whoever's around around the world. And there's other people that do have videos that are giving this kind of emanation. So yeah.
Well, give thanks. Give thanks to the Most High, ancestors that came before us,
for sure.
influenced us.
Yes.
We're gonna get it started. So I know you have something that you want to share before we get started in the process. So I'm gonna allow you to share that now.
Absolutely. I wrote a poem. Maybe about probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and I would like to share it today. It's called "The Seeds of Abundance," which kind of is in alignment, attunement with what we're going to do today.
Awesome.
Yes. All right. So it's called "The Seeds of Abundance," and it starts. I will never be ungrateful again, for it is written and very plain. The seeds of abundance are around us, abundantly in nature. I am spiritually more mature. You plant a seed in the ground, it bears fruit in its due season. And for that, there is a reason. One seed produces many in the fruit. How can I be ungrateful? If I live one day in the earth, or 26,000 days, how could I be ungrateful? Everywhere I go, someone is giving something useful, bountiful, and meaningful, whether it is reasoning, love, or seeds. Let's receive in order to give. Let's give in order to receive. This beautiful abundance that is clearly here in this hemisphere. I will never be ungrateful again. The elements provide sunshine, rain, air, and earth. Oh, how I know what that's worth. Without those, this abundance is irrelevant. Be kind to the elements. Do not pollute them physically or mentally. However, be in tune spiritually. I will never be ungrateful again.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So what inspired this?
I think all of the things that we get, and I looked at the fruit. I looked at the fruit because we put one seed in the ground.
Right.
But then when you open the fruit, look how much
it's so many, it's so abundant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how can we be ungrateful?
That's true. There's abundance all around us.
Exactly. So that's what inspired this poem. Yes. So I give thanks for you allowing me to read this, because these are things that you pen from time to time, and you don't get a forum where you can actually give it freely. Yes.
Well, thank you for blessing.
Okay. No problem.
Our viewers with your words.
Okay.
Nice.
No problem at all.
All right, so let's tell the people what we're gonna do here today. We mentioned that we're gonna sprout. Mm-hmm. So first, let's talk about what we have in front of us and what we have going on here to sprout.
All right. What we have here, we have four mason jars. Okay. Which are about maybe 16 ounce, 24 ounces, or something like that.
Yeah, they're 32 ounces.
32 ounce jars. And what we're going to do is that we're going to fill them with beans, mainly here. We have green peas. We have.
Which ones are the green peas? This one?
Yes, that's green peas.
We have some green peas here. Let me see if I can open it.
Yes, you can open one. You can take some out and put them in your hand.
Okay. Yeah. So we have some green peas here. And make sure you sanitize and sterilize.
Yes. Clean the jars. And
clean the jars.
And, which we did do before.
We did. So these are the, I don't know if they can see. Okay, good. All right, those are the green peas.
Okay.
So should I just put them in one of the jars?
Yeah, you can pour them all into the first one.
Okay, there's a little bit of water.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Okay. All right, so this is the green peas. All right, so we're putting the green peas here in the jar. Kind of making a mess, but it's okay.
That's all right.
So when do I stop?
Oh, you're gonna put all of them in?
Oh, you're gonna put all of them. So we're just gonna do
yes,
this.
because I kind of measured them out.
Okay, so you pre-measured. So about how many is this?
I'm gonna say about maybe like a quarter of the jar. You know,
Okay.
You know, that's all you need to put in because they're gonna swell.
Okay.
You know, once the water starts getting in them. Yes.
Okay. So this is our green peas here.
All right.
Okay.
And then our next one is going to be what we call mung beans.
Mung beans.
Yes. Okay. And
it sounds so exotic.
Yeah.
Mung beans.
Yeah. I think you mostly see like people in the Orient. They might use
like
mung beans.
Okay.
And
the Asiatic.
and I think I see them a lot in like halal shops.
Okay.
And you'll see it in Whole Foods.
So do you know like what mung beans are good for?
Yeah, they have a lot of these beans have a lot of protein. In them.
So this is where the vegans get our protein from.
Yes, exactly. And it's just when you're using the water in the beans, they're actually helping it to be more digestible.
Okay.
Because you'll notice when you're eating these living beans rather than cooking them, you'll find out that they're not as gaseous.
Oh, okay.
Like when you eat a lot of beans.
Yeah, when you cook them.
You know what happens then.
Exactly. My children are like on a strike with beans, so we're good.
And another thing, what you'll see after a day of or a few hours of soaking them, you will see like little bubbles, coming to the top, so you know that they
start to ferment.
Right, it's starting to pull out all of that gaseous stuff.
Oh, okay.
So you'll see the bubbles start bubbling on the top.
Okay, so it's gonna start bubbling.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so here we have the mung beans. Get a close up on that one. Awesome.
And then the next one is going to be chickpeas or garbanzo peas, depending on beans, whichever way you want to.
Garbanzo. All right, so I'm just gonna open this.
Yeah, and you can measure it out to be about
the same.
Yes.
All right, so garbanzo beans. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. Yes.
Okay. Now, I tried to do this like before, but it didn't work out. So I'm glad that I have you, showing me the process. Because it started smelling funky and I didn't know what to do after that.
Yes, and I should say that the chickpeas or the garbanzo beans are going to be the most challenging.
Okay.
Because they do tend to, want to spoil quicker than the others that we have here.
Okay.
But one of the things is rinsing. It's always good to rinse the beans often.
Right.
But the garbanzos are the ones that you really have to kind of
rinse
continue to rinse a lot. And they do have a little bit more, challenging in sprouting. But I like using them because
they're good.
Yes, the flavors.
I've had them.
Yes, they're really good. And also when you start seeing the sprouts shooting, they should be at least maybe about close to an inch long.
Okay.
And I want everyone to do an experiment. Try and break those sprouts that are coming out.
Really?
It's very difficult.
Okay.
Because that's to show you again the strength and the quality that is coming out because it's coming from the source.
Right. Wow.
Yes, exactly. Just do your own experiment. Yeah. It's strong. I mean, you can, try to. Even if you took these beans, put them in a cooked meal. They don't really
snap. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's to show you the source of life and where the strength is.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why it's a part of liberty.
Exactly.
Live it, not the diet.
Exactly.
Right. We're gonna show you how to eat real food.
Right. So now we're gonna go into the lentils now.
Okay, so lentils.
Mm-hmm. Right, which to me, the lentils are, to me, this is just my own opinion.
Right.
But the lentils have the best taste to me.
The best.
Out of all of the seeds or the beans that are sprouted.
So you want lentils. And this is Mikey's favorite.
Yes.
Lentils. I like. See, I don't think I've had sprouted lentils. I've had sprouted mung beans, but not that I sprouted myself. And then I've had sprouted garbanzo beans. I never had the green or the lentils.
Absolutely. So. And again, these can be used for other things. If you wanted to make, living burgers.
Oh, okay.
You can use the lentils for that.
So like live burgers.
Live burgers, you
Nice.
can make them up.
So would you put them in the dehydrator?
Yeah, you can use the dehydrator, or like some ones who are really like deep into this stuff. Some say that they don't really like using the dehydrators, but you can use the sun also to dry this stuff. But the only thing is that the sun takes a little bit longer,
right?
A little bit longer to dry, and then you gotta protect what you're using from the elements. So it's a little bit more involved,
right?
But at the same time, as we know, doing things with the natural sources of life,
right,
is gonna keep the natural sources of the vitamins and the minerals that are in these things. It'll keep it more from the source,
right.
Rather than from an electrical, source or whatever, Which I'm not saying, there's anything wrong with that, because the dehydration also, the levels of the temperatures are kept at a temperature that is not too overwhelming. So,
right. So it's not that bad.
Yes.
But if you could do it in the sun.
Yes.
Have you ever made them?
I've done some things in the sun, but I haven't done anything with the seeds, but with other things that I've done, I've dried out, like I dried either the leaves or like the leaves or things like that. I've done even, this might sound a little strange, but like skin.
Oh, banana skin.
Yes.
What do you do with the banana skin?
You dry them out, and then you can put them in your salads.
Okay. Do they taste good?
They taste pretty good.
Do you put seasoning on them?
No, you just kind of they get hard. So you break them up and you can put them in your food. Okay. Yeah, I mean
that sounds interesting. You don't have to break something. I don't know if I'm there yet, y'all.
But there's ways of. One thing with the raw food kind of thing, or I like to call it Ra's food.
Ra's food.
Ra's food.
Like raw, the living. Okay, the sun.
Like making a play on the word
raw. Okay,
So we say Ra's food.
I like that.
Yes, and you use the sun to dry out, and then again you can just break up the things and put them in.
That's interesting, because I saw there was this whole trend when people were trying to make was it bacon from the banana peel and putting it in the air fryer. I was just like, that seems, I don't know how. I throw out my banana peels.
I mean, if you get organic bananas or something, and if you want to, experiment with that.
Okay.
Yeah, it does work, and it's an acquired taste.
Okay. What does it taste like?
It still has a little bit of the banana taste to it, because some of it is still lying on the inside, but it just gives another element to the food, because it's kind of crunchy.
Yeah, crunchy.
Right. So all you're doing is building layers to the food.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just like dried kelp.
Yeah, I like the seagulls.
Yes.
I can be like, yeah.
Exactly. You can break them up.
Yeah.
You put them in the food, and it gives another element to whatever you're eating. Because, as I said, raw food is what do you call it? it's very creative.
Right.
So you can. So some people see, like you're eating a salad and it's like plain and it's, it's like simple and there's nothing, But you can be really creative with this if you go in and experiment and do different things, and also the food that is raw or natural. Okay, you are now like doing experiments with yourself because now you're going into the chemistry, of yourself too. So if something doesn't agree with you, you will know. Yeah. So that you can say, well, I don't know if I'm going to do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So again, it's like testing yourself, and seeing how you assimilate with whatever you're creating. That's true. Because
sometimes that happens to me. Like if I try to go like back and forth, or I eat something I know I'm not supposed to eat, then it's like a problem. Exactly. So, yeah.
And you'll be able to feel out, what's resonating with you.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna try that with the banana peel. Yeah. But you have to make it because I don't think I trust myself.
I'll do it. I haven't done it in a while, but I have done it before because I do experiments with different things.
Okay.
Just to try it and see how it works. Because and it never did anything. To me, it's banana peel.
Yeah, it is. It's just I just never thought. And then when I saw them experimenting with the banana peels, I was like, we gone too far. I don't know about all of that, but hey, if you say it's good, then I'll trust you.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It has a nice taste, to me.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And when you finish with this stuff, now you just add, these things into your salads.
Yeah.
And, like what I'll do sometimes, I'll have like a sprouted meal where you can use coconut milk, from the coconut itself.
Okay, so actual coconut milk.
Yes.
Not from the store.
Not from the store.
Not from the can.
From the tin. None of that stuff. So if you have like, you can use a blender, and you can use the hard coconut, like the brown coconut with the hard shell.
Right.
Crack it open, dig it out. You gotta cut it up into small pieces. If you have a blender that is not a Vitamix or one of those stronger brands, that have more motor power.
Right.
You can use a blender that is not as strong, but you have to use like a cheesecloth.
Okay.
Once you use it in the water, you blend it out.
Okay.
Use the cheesecloth to
squeeze it out.
Squeeze the milk out of it.
Okay.
Or if you have a champion juicer, which is one of those.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, it's about I don't know, maybe the prices are like maybe from $270 to $300, but they're excellent because they masticate and separate the juice from the.
So there was one of the juice that you can make like the nut milks with.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. So you can take the coconut, you push it through, and it pushes the juice out underneath, and then the mastication of the pulp comes out from the front.
Okay.
So you'll get cream over here, and then you'll get the pulp over here, and then you can actually take the pulp now, put it in your blender, blend it out, and then you can get extra milk out of it too. So nothing really goes to waste. You know what I mean? And there's other things you can even do with the pulp too.
Right.
But that's for another time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a whole course. Brother Mikey, raw food.
Yeah, because again, there's
raw course.
Because you don't have. There's a lot of things you don't even have to throw away. And even again, there is nothing that we really do technically when we're using the fruits of nature, because you can just take it and bless or give thanks.
Yeah. Put it as compost.
Right, and just put it against the tree, or dig up the earth, and put it in the earth. Exactly.
Yeah, we've been doing that with our fruit trees outside, but we were doing that because they had they weren't producing as well they normally. So we're like, okay, let's begin.
Yes. Exactly.
Composting and doing different things. We started digging holes and putting it. So at least we did that.
Because again, it feels good because you're actually feeding.
Right.
like how we talk about ancestral reverence.
Of course.
So in other words, that tree is I, and I is the tree. So we're actually giving reverence because you're feeding the elements.
Right.
Yes.
Nice.
So to me, that's the holistic.
Yeah, that circle of life.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
360.
Exactly.
Great. All right. So now that we have our beans in our jars, what do we do next?
What you're gonna do now? You're gonna fill the jar with water.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have some bottled water here that we're going to use, and we're just gonna fill.
And you're gonna go all the way up to the rim here. Okay. Yes. Yeah, you got water. Yes.
Okay. So let me get one of my assistants here. I'm gonna do the mommy thing and be loud and call for one of my children. Can you grab me another bottle of water?
Yes. How you doing, Sabi?
All right.
One more?
Maybe two more.
Yes.
Thank you, Sunday. Say hi to the people.
Hi.
Alrighty.
Yes. So filling it up, and then, as I said, you're gonna see, how much they swell.
Right.
Through the next 8 hours or so, because you're gonna leave them sitting for about 8 hours.
Okay.
The only one, as I said, you just keep an eye on more.
Is the garbanzo.
Garbanzo. Yes.
Now, where do I keep them? Because last time I did this, I kept them on my. Well, actually, I did it wrong because I didn't have the jar. Right. I was watching some lady on YouTube who was sprouting them in plastic containers.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, I don't need to buy anything. I'll just get a container and I'll do it. So I put it in the plastic container and I was rinsing it, but I kept it on my countertop. Is that?
Well, I think the countertop is fine. The only thing is that what's important is the temperature. So in the environment. So the thing is, the temperature should ideally be between 50 and 75 degrees.
Right.
Because so if the air conditioner is running, then it'll keep it at a
so 50 to 75 degrees. So we're gonna write that here for the people. Keep temperatures. Oh, that's not typing.
Like if you're in the winter season, like in the north or something, you probably be fine, because overnight, it's going to be, pretty good temperature for that. But here in South Florida, we'll probably have a little bit more of a challenge,
right.
Especially if we're not using air conditioning because.
There's people that don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're surviving.
And the thing is, even if you're not using air conditioning, it's okay, but you have to rinse more often. Yes.
Okay. So about how many times are we rinsing?
Well, ideally in the ideal temperatures, again, it would be probably leaving them for about 6 to 8 hours, and then you would rinse them. But because of the environment, whether it's warmer inside, then I would say like maybe every 4 to 5 hours, if it's warmer inside.
Okay.
And just making sure that you look and see if it's foaming. Now, if it starts to foam, then
yes.
That's different from the bubbles. But if it starts to foam,
this one, my beans were foaming. I was like, what's happening?
You will start noticing that they're probably beginning to start to spoil. It doesn't mean that they're spoiled yet.
Okay.
You will know by the smell.
Yeah.
But if you rinse it,
consistently,
for a few times, and then take a bean and smell it, and also analyze your beans, and just make sure that there's no mold, growing on it. But the only thing is, or discoloration. But I don't think if the temperature is in a good area, it probably won't that probably won't happen. But you should still inspect it. Now, because we're soaking them now,
right.
The inspection is not as critical because you're just getting ready to do the preparation.
Okay.
So right now it's just really soaking up the water, getting it ready for when we take the water out of it, and then we put it into a dark space.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna. That's the next.
Oh, so we're gonna take the water out and then put it into a dark space. Okay, so we have right now rinse every 6 to 8 hours at ideal temperatures, 4 to 5 hours in warmer temps, right?
Yes, because it's gonna be challenging,
All right, so let's show the people that. So they have here. Okay, and then we said keep the temperatures. Okay.
Also look for discoloration. Like if you see like any kind of mold building up or discoloration of the beans, then you may want to discard them
and start over
again. If it comes down to that, and I'm as much times as I have done this, being
right.
I've never really had to throw away anything.
Oh, that's good. Because I threw away
it's only the garbanzos that I really have the hardest time with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the one I started out with. So I was like, sorry.
And the lentils have a lot of toleration. They have a lot of toleration, but the garbanzos less toleration. And then as you go down the line, these have a little bit more toleration, but definitely the lentils have the most. Yes.
All right.
As far as my experiences have shown me. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. All right. So now that we have the water in the containers, what's our next step?
What you're gonna do is it's up to you. It's up to you because, like for me, in my own experiences, I don't cover the jars.
Okay.
All right, but if you want, you can place a cheesecloth over the top.
Okay. So we have some cheesecloth here, family, and we just got this at the local grocery store. So just go in and just ask them for some cheesecloth. And then, I'm just going to place it, or should I double it, or does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. You can place it over the top.
Check with the lid.
Yes, and then you can put the ring over it.
So our lids, as you can see, they go through. Just trying to figure out the proper.
Exactly. Excellent.
All right, so we're gonna put them. And
because putting the cloth on it is good because if something fell.
Yeah.
It doesn't go inside or whatever.
Yeah, I have children.
Yes. So. Most of the time I'm monitoring them, so I'm not really, something could drop from the cupboard, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, that's how I do it. But,
and then if you don't have the right, you can use a rubber band, right?
Exactly.
So we have some rubber bands.
Exactly.
So we'll do this one with the rubber band to show you guys. Just put the rubber band.
Yes. And then you hold that up there.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Absolutely. And then this would be the first stage.
This is the first stage?
Yeah, this is the complete first stage.
Yay!
Okay.
I feel so accomplished.
Yes. It really, again, doing Ra's food, in those methods and that methodology, it brings a joy. It brings a joy because again, one of the things I would like to share in doing Ra's food, is that when, like, say if you're making a meal with all the different things,
right?
One of the consolations is you don't have a burnt pot.
Yeah.
You don't have anything stuck in there. If you're using sugars, they get tied to the pot.
Yeah. All
of these things. So when you go to wash your stuff,
simple.
It flows right out.
Yeah.
These are one of the benefits of a raw food existence.
Nice.
Yes.
Less waste.
Yes.
Less cleanup.
Exactly.
Better for your body.
Exactly.
Giving back to the earth.
Exactly.
Regeneration of cells. We can go down the line.
Yes, and again, I'm not pushing up against eating cooked meals,
Right.
but just saying that there is some benefits,
Right.
that extend, from even some of the things that, even our youth sometimes, they don't want to,
Yeah.
do the dishes and all of that
Oh, yeah.
stuff. But doing the raw stuff, it's like everything just slides right down.
I know we did 1 week of raw with the children. We had to kind of bribe them though. But we did 1 week of just all raw. So we did all our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And my daughter, who does the dishes, she was happy. She's like, it was like really less dishes. It was so much easier.
Exactly.
She was just like, she's like, if I could figure out how to make all my favorite things raw, then, she would do that. So we got a dehydrator now, so we can help facilitate, making more live meals. Like more of the complicated things, like the burgers you were saying, and like maybe raw live pizza, because there is such a thing, and to make those things, and like the sprouted crackers, the different, not really breads, but they're dense.
They have a denser frequency for them, but at the same time, they bring another element. It's kind of like the ones that you're talking about. They're kind of like what do they call those? They call them rye breads.
Yeah, it's like a rye bread.
Kind of like tough.
Yeah, it is.
But
it's good.
They're good, and you can find them in some of the local stores,
supermarkets,
stores, and things
that's
like that. And so
what do we do after this stage?
Right. What you're going to do after this stage is that you're going to, as I said, every 4 to 6 or 8 hours, you're going to throw off the water, rinse it a couple of times or 3 times.
So should I take it out and put it in my strainer and stuff?
You can if you want.
Okay.
Now, you can actually I'm like a touch type. So I'll put my fingers over the jar and I'll just use my fingers, to strain it. But you can throw it out into a strainer.
Okay.
Have the water go on it. Clean it off. Maybe some like if you have like filtered water or spring water or something. Filter it off, and then you're gonna put the beans or the seeds back in the jar, and you're gonna fill the water again.
So I'm gonna fill the water after this again.
Yes, you're gonna do it again twice, and I think twice should be enough. Okay. Again, in colder climates, you might have to do it one more time because of the heat's get into it, so it's actually giving it a little bit.
So how would you know? Can you try test the seed consistency to know?
I think how you're gonna know is by the size.
Okay.
Because as you'll see them growing, right? So that's where the experience comes in, and that's why I'm
gonna call you. What's that?
I'm always encouraging people to do it for themselves.
Right.
Rather than, because once you start getting into it, you start seeing the intricate things that come along with it, and then you say, okay, I see something different here. Even with seasoning, it really, you season yourself, because it's all in your taste and what you're feeling to have.
Yeah, that's so true. And I'm glad you equated it to that, because, people sometimes they're like, oh, what did you put? And I was like, I have no idea. I just seasoned it. And then, my children, they're learning to cook, and they're like, Mom, how much of this do you put? And I'm like, I don't know. Just put it until it feels right and it tastes right.
Exactly, because if you put too much salt and you taste it, you're going to say, oh, there's too much salt in it. And then you're going to think for the next time to weigh and measure it, and that helps the thought process, to give it more thought.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're going to look at these. So we're going to, so I'm going to leave this for 8 hours.
Yes.
So we're going to type that for the people. Leave for 8 hours. And then throw off water.
Yes. And you're going to rinse it off, like a couple of times.
Rinse and discard.
Yes.
Water.
Yes.
And then refill.
And then refill again with some new water. And yeah, and then
that's
you're gonna leave it again for another, 8 hours.
okay.
And then I think that should be enough. Two,
Two times.
Two times. And then I think I don't know what you want to plan to do, whether to take pictures. I think.
Yeah, we're gonna take
Yes.
pictures, and
Yes.
we're going to update
Yes.
either the video or the social media,
Yes.
so you can see the process,
Yes.
and then we'll come back when it's done. So then
Yes.
this whole process should be complete
in about, let's say, 4 to 5 days. The
4 to 5
process
days.
should be complete.
Okay.
And I like how you're doing it, because now when it's complete, we'll come back and then we'll show what has manifested itself.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Well, I am excited.
Yes.
I'm definitely excited.
And
So then after the second time I fill these and leave them for another 8 hours, then what do I do?
then what you're going to do, you're going to, again, you rinse it again,
Okay.
those 3 times or whatever after
Okay.
the second time, and then you're going to put your cheesecloths on, just like how you have it here.
Right.
Now, if you want, this is up to you, right? Because there's going to be no more water in there, but there's still going to be a little residue of
Okay.
water on the beans themselves.
Right.
Now, what you can do, you can get a little tub, okay, and you can tilt the jar,
Okay.
into the tub at a certain angle so that the water is draining out.
Okay.
If you want to do that. Now, for me, again, I'm just sharing my experience in the way that I do it. I don't necessarily worry about that.
Okay.
I just put the jars into a dark space.
Okay.
It can be a cupboard, anywhere that's dark, that's
Okay.
completely dark. And you leave it in there for about maybe 6 to 8 hours again, right? And then when you put it out in 6 to 8 hours, just take a look at it, make sure that there's no, discoloration or any, mildew or anything. You're gonna take it and put water on it again,
Rinse
wash it off,
Okay.
give it a nice wash. But in the first one, when you take it out, you're probably gonna see
A little
a
sprout.
little shoot.
Nice.
Okay, now the first ones you're gonna see to shoot first out of the ones that we have picked today. I guarantee you it's gonna be the lentil,
The lentils.
the mung bean. The peas and the garbanzos are gonna be
Take a little longer.
the most difficult.
Okay.
That's what I've seen.
Okay.
So you're gonna do that with all of them. Even though you don't see any sprout yet, you're still gonna just do the rinsing and then take out the water, put them back in the dark place. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So let's write that for the people.
Yes.
So after 2 to 3 cycles of soaking, drain, rinse and drain.
Yes.
Rinse and drain, and place containers into a dark space for 8 hours again?
Yeah, for about 6 to 8 hours. 6 to 8 hours would be fine.
6 to 8 hours. Repeat. Rinse and drain.
Yes.
Until
you start seeing the shoot get about 3/4 of an inch to an inch long. Yes.
Okay, so that's a little bit concise, but if you're listening to the video,
Yes.
you'll have the
Exactly.
instructions.
Exactly. And again, you're gonna, all of the abundance that's in that seed is going to be present because it's a shoot that is coming out.
Of course.
And remember what I said
Yes.
about the strength of
The
it.
strength of it.
Yes.
Now, because they say that when you sprout things, it actually contains way higher nutrients
Exactly.
than say you were to cook these beans
Exactly.
or you were to let it grow into like a full plant and then maybe eat the leaves or something.
Exactly, because it's present at the source,
Right.
and that's why I feel that it's a good way of getting an abundant, vitamins and minerals from these things, and also, uh, enzymes and things like that.
Nice.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing. This one's already like letting off some little gas bubbles.
Yes.
So this is exciting.
Mhm.
Super exciting.
Yes, and I as I said, I'm grateful and thankful, that you have allowed me to come and just share.
Of course.
And again, it's something that all can full take in.
Of course, this is like really
Yes.
great for the children too,
Yes.
to just be connected with nature and food sources and
Yes.
just learning how to do these things. And this is actually sort of like a survival thing too.
Oh, I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that.
I tell you what, just to add to that, because you're right. Once these things, get to that stage,
Right,
if you have those sealers,
right.
that seals things and keeps the air out.
Yeah, like the vacuum
Yes,
sealer.
yes, you can seal them, and again, just put them away.
Right.
Just like,
Like
for
in
times
your fridge. I
that.
mean, yeah, we buy sprouts.
Yeah.
We buy sprouts. So they're always in a little container.
Exactly.
So.
And for times that, we're in a time now, where these things can be a source
Right.
of life
Right.
for life.
Exactly. Right.
And that's why, it's a good thing to know.
How to do.
Yes.
Exactly. So while you guys are stacking up, your flowers and your rice and, grab you some beans and soak them. Don't worry if you don't have electricity to cook, right?
Exactly.
Because now you can get your nutrients by just soaking them.
And I'm
and
again,
sprouting them.
you said another thing that to me, this may sound a little odd, but I'm gonna say you use the word cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about it. The water is cooking.
The water
the
is
beans.
cooking it.
It's cooking the beans. Just like in most raw food, you will see they use a lot of lime and lemon because the lime and the lemon is what's cooking.
Nice.
It's
that acidity.
Yes.
And alkalizing.
Exactly.
Changing it.
Exactly. And so again, in the term that we're using that word cooking, but it's live cooking.
Right.
Yes. In that term.
Right. Live food preparation.
Yes.
Uncooking.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You can use that word too. As a metaphor.
Right.
For it. Yes.
Okay. No, this is amazing. This is science and nature and survival prep 101. This is everything together.
Exactly. And as we said in the first part, I'm grateful for all that has been given. That we can, sit here today and have this reasoning.
Give thanks.
Yes.
Give thanks. All right, guys. So definitely stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and IG at Cultivate Life. And thanks again, Brother Mikey, for sharing your knowledge. We will be posting the updates on the gram, so definitely follow us there at Cultivate Life. And until next time, be well, stay well, cultivate life.
Thanks. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.